So I called this a historic stream today, and the reason why this time in history is so historic, I've got 3 stars beside the live stream today because I want to remember this stream because something is happening right now, and the majority of people are missing this. But what's happened over the last week, in my opinion, is we've officially passed the baton. We've officially passed the baton from the greatest investor on the planet, which is Warren Buffett, to the new greatest investor on the planet, which is Michael Saylor. This week, that transition happened, and not a lot of people noticed, but it did. And it kind of started with this tweet here from Michael Saylor. And I'm going to share a couple different things that happened in the last week that relate to this. So this is what Saylor tweeted on May 3rd, 2025. Berkshire Hathaway is a 20th century Bitcoin. So that's how this thing started. And I saw that and I kind of tried to decipher it myself a little bit. And I was like, makes a lot of sense. So I started thinking about it. I started seeing a few more things, which led me to down a couple different rabbit holes. But this is this same week as well. This was on May 5th. I think everybody knows what happened, but just in case, oh my God, you're joking. See, this is the most fiat thing of all time here. This bothered me. Okay, I'm going to remove that for a sec. I'm going to continue with Google, I guess. Put it under the Maple Bitcoin Pod. Sorry, Maple Bitcoin Pod, but you're going to be getting some New York Times news. Continue without subscribing. What is going on now? This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Okay, show me the article, you dummies. Oh my God, this is nuts. Return to article. Thank you. Thank you. Here it is. My God. Oh, wow. The likes of Warren Buffett will never be seen again. This is a post from the New York Times, which I just had a full-out war with there in my own life. But anyways, there's Warren Buffett himself. I have my opinions on Warren Buffett. You know, he's done some bad things. Probably he's exploited some things that shouldn't have been exploited in order to earn a profit. But you know, he's not alone there. So we should give some respect to the guy. He is an icon. He's done very well for himself and his shareholders. But after 6 decades of pearly wisdom and investment gems, the news from Omaha hit like a thunderbolt. So Buffett announced his retirement. And you can see here that it says, in an age of insecurity. Does that sound familiar? Mr. Buffett was an anchor of endurance since he took the helm at Berkshire on May 10th, 1965. General Motors, then the largest American corporation, has greeted 11 new chief executives. Sears, Roebuck, the biggest retailer, have vanished from the scene. 11 U.S. presidents have come and gone. 2 of them have survived impeachment and forced to resign. And Coca-Cola changed its formula. But Mr. Buffett didn't change his. And it wasn't just constancy. Berkshire's stock that day in May closed at $18 per share. When he delivered the news, it was above $809,000 per share, almost 45,000 times higher. Over the same time span, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up just under 45 times. And if you think about, I'm comparing here Warren Buffett and Michael Saylor because I think that they're going to have the same fate. The world doesn't really see that yet. Nobody really is paying attention to what's happening here, but we're moving through the exact same thing. When Buffett took over, the price was $18 per share of Berkshire Hathaway, $18. It's now 809,000. In what is that, 65 to 60 years. So in 60 years, Saylor will probably be around, hopefully. And we're going to be having this exact same conversation about the price of Strategy going from whatever it was in August 2020 from $20 to the equivalent of like 2 million probably, because they're doing the exact same thing. And this is what really made me like excited about this. If you think about Warren Buffett, most people know that he didn't build the railways, obviously, but he helped fund that. He funded the projects, he bought the companies, he built his investment strategy around the railroads, right? Transferring value around the world that could not be transferred prior to that. I think that's what I'm not overly familiar with Buffett, but that's kind of what I got from a little bit of research. So the railways. And if you think about it, Michael Saylor is doing the exact same thing right now with Bitcoin. Michael Saylor has built a railway via Strategy to transfer value from the old system to the new system. It's exactly what Warren Buffett did 60 years ago in a roundabout way. They didn't build the company who did it, but they're investing in using their capital and actually taking other people's money, which is what Berkshire Hathaway did, to do it quicker and faster and get ahead of other people. Strategy right now is over 550,000 Bitcoin. 550,000 Bitcoin. That's why, again, this is a historic moment in time here, because I don't think anybody's ever going to catch Strategy. I don't think any country's going to catch Strategy. So as Warren Buffett was retiring, he left a quote for people to ponder on. And I was actually going to share a clip of Buffett, but we don't really have time to do it now because of the New York Times. I thought I was going to get cute there and kind of bash the New York Times, but they hit me back there pretty hard. So this is what Buffett said last week. This was on May 3rd. So again, all of this happened within a couple days here. So just in, Warren Buffett says it might be a good idea to own a lot of other currencies besides the US dollar. May 3rd, 2025. What do you think currency Buffett's talking about? He went on about a 2-minute rant talking about how bad fiat currencies are, how bad it is when people and countries have the ability to create money out of thin air. So do you think that Buffett's saying don't buy the US dollar, but buy the Russian ruble? Or is it the ruble? Or the Chinese yen or yuan? I don't even know what they are. Who cares? They're all completely illusionary. They're literally printed out of nothing. So I don't think that he's saying don't buy the US, but buy another country's fiat currency. I think Buffett's suggesting here, without saying it, to buy Bitcoin. And so as this is happening, as Saylor tweets that, as Buffett steps down, as Buffett says it might be a good idea to own a lot of other currencies besides the US dollar, at the same time, there's a little event happening right now called Strategy World. Strategy World, there's live streams on YouTube. There's people paying lots of money to be at the event with Saylor and the team from Strategy. And how many other public companies are you aware of that have something like that? Microsoft, maybe. Apple has their releases. Berkshire Hathaway definitely has an annual shareholders meeting. That's kind of what made them famous. You had to get a ticket to go watch Warren Buffett give his advice for the year from Berkshire Hathaway, the annual report. So the exact same thing is happening right now with Strategy. Look at the S&P 500. How many of those companies on that list have a party or an event every year for their shareholders to go and celebrate? This is the first year that Strategy did this. It's the 5th year overall. The first 2 were virtual. The second 2 were called Bitcoin for Corporations. And this year, as the baton gets passed from Buffett to Saylor, Strategy World happening right now. It's like poetic simulation, whatever you want to call it. It's very weird, very strange, but it is the baton being passed right now. So with that in mind, I wanted to share some quotes from Buffett because he's been very hard on Bitcoin. I wouldn't say very hard. I think he called it rat poison squared. And I had a discussion with Forrest yesterday, and he said it was his buddy, Charlie Munger. But when I asked AI for some quotes on Bitcoin from Buffett, it said that it was Buffett that actually called Bitcoin rat poison squared. So Forrest, I don't know if I'm wrong about that. That's what AI told me. But anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about some quotes that Buffett had, because I'm under the full opinion that if Warren Buffett from the 60s was transported to today, Warren Buffett would definitely be a Bitcoiner, without a doubt. But people like Warren Buffett, people like Microsoft, these people do not need Bitcoin right now. They have billions of dollars. The last thing that they want to do is take time out of their day, out of their precious life, and learn about something new. They don't care. They have enough money where even if Bitcoin went to $1 billion, they could still get one. So people like that do not care about Bitcoin. Buffett is one of those people. Bill Gates, Microsoft, all these people who don't need Bitcoin, they don't care. And that's kind of what Saylor's main message was from his speech the other day, is that Bitcoin is on a need to know basis. If you already have a bunch of wealth and you don't really care what the price of Bitcoin does, then you're not going to pay attention to it. But if you do need to know, like I do, like you do, like a bunch of other public companies out there who are basically zombies now, you do need to know about Bitcoin. And so Buffett didn't need to know about Bitcoin, but I'm pretty sure if he was transported to today, Buffett would be a Bitcoiner. I'm going to share some quotes here. This is why I was a couple minutes late for the show today, but I'm going to share some quotes here. These are from Buffett, and I changed the words slightly without adding Bitcoin, but I want you to tell me whether or not Warren Buffett would have been a Bitcoiner. So this is one of his quotes. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule 1. Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? Never spend your Bitcoin. Rule number 2, never forget rule 1. Same kind of thing, same kind of vibe. Next one here. If you aren't willing to own an asset for 10 years, this was a stock for 10 years, but I changed it to an asset. If you aren't willing to own an asset for 10 years, don't think about owning it for 10 minutes. Pretty consistent with the message within Bitcoin. For anybody who understands Bitcoin, the green light is on. It's the same message. Don't buy Bitcoin if you can't hold on to it for at least 4 years. But in this case, this is even better, 10 years. So it's the same kind of thing. Don't get into this thing if you think you're going to flip it in a month. So another quote, very consistent with the Bitcoiner mentality. This is a big one, though. This is a big one. Big opportunities come infrequently. When it's raining gold, reach for a bucket, not a thimble. So the main message here for this clip, and I might title it this, is fill your bucket with Bitcoin. It's clear. I mean, he's talking about gold in this case, but we know that Bitcoin is the new gold. Bitcoin's far superior to gold. Bitcoin's significantly underpriced right now compared to gold. So when it's raining, grab a bucket, get as much as you can. Don't dip into this with a couple toes. Understand what's happening here and get as much as you possibly can. It's the exact same thing. This is what I'm saying. Buffett would have been a Bitcoiner. And this one as well, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windshield. How many Bitcoiners do you know? I'm sure everybody in this chat right now would attest to the fact that if they could go back in time when they first heard about Bitcoin, they would have got way more of it. And it's the same kind of thing. Every cycle, people are like, oh, it might do this, it might drop a little bit. And then when it gets to 10x what it was, everybody's like, well, yeah, it made sense. I mean, Larry Fink was telling people to buy. Donald Trump was telling people to buy. States in the US were creating Bitcoin strategic reserves. It was pretty obvious what was going to happen there. Exact same thing here. The rear view mirror is always clearer than the windshield. And the last one here. The market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. And a lot of people are active. A lot of people check the price of Bitcoin every day and they think that they're going to cash out, go back into fiat, they're going to buy a house. Meanwhile, there's people who understand Bitcoin who are waiting to buy those sats. And I feel like this is going to happen over the next couple of years here. And this is what I'm trying to prevent from happening, where Bitcoiners, they run the price up. A bunch of Bitcoiners are like, oh, price is way up. I've doubled my profits. I've increased my holdings here. I have to sell some Bitcoin because that's what people do. And then they trade back into fiat. And then we lose those sats. Individuals lose those sats. Those sats go to BlackRock, the US government, Strategy, Michael Saylor, and we never get those sats back. So the market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. Be patient. Hold on to these sats. Understand what you're holding, protect them, but don't look at this thing like any other investment. Look at this thing as something you're going to buy and hold on to forever. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All of this happened within the last week. Buffett retires. Saylor tweets about it. Strategy World, the first ever Strategy World, takes place. Buffett tells people to buy everything except US currencies or fiat currencies. But still, he didn't say buy assets other than the US dollar. He said buy currencies other than the US dollar, which to me is Bitcoin. This happened. This is the historic moment in Bitcoin. I think this week we're going to look back to, and I'm glad that I was able to document it here.